There is a concept in economics that says, basically, your returns are only valuable in terms of what it can buy. What it can buy is measured by something called inflation. Inflation is rise in prices. So I was just using the example, the best example to use is in Malaysia. Right now, anybody who saves money in the banking system gets an order of something like 2%. But then inflation is around 3 or 4%. So you have $100 right now that may buy $100 worth of goods and services. But if you put it in the bank in your savings account, at the end of the year, that's not worth $100. It's worth less than that. So if you have, say, if you have 4% inflation, then you can, what your money could buy is now $96 worth. Now, if you have 2% return, then your actual return is only 2% because 4% is the price inflation and 2% you're getting. The difference is 2% you're losing. If, however, you take your money and say, well, I have $100 and you have a young man who's a very good driver, you and 10 other people say, why don't we all get together, you buy a car, buy a taxi, and you go ahead and drive this since you know Kuala Lumpur really well. Why don't you then go ahead and buy this, and at the end of the year, we'll share the profit. We know what the rate of profit in Malaysia is. It's, or at the minimum, is an order of 15–16% in real terms, meaning that this purchasing power is 15 to 16%. So at the minimum, your $100 at the end of the year is going to be worth $115. And even if you say that the inflation is 4%, you still gain $11 on top of it. So you compare $11 with $2. Any rational person would want to do it that way. In other words, you and other people who invest in this project are sharing the risk with this young man who is going to have a taxi. So his earnings will, of course, help him, help his family. You have actually made somebody reasonably independent. So that's the difference between Islamic banking and finance and the conventional finance. This is sharing the risk of the society among the members of the society. The other one basically has a class that has money and lends it and then makes money, and so you have a huge problem with income distribution. You end up with a lot of poor people and very few rich people.